Okay, I got a request to do spark plugs on or video of the spark plugs on a GLK with a 276 engine. It's a V6, newer style engine. Pretty straightforward. The tools you are going to need for the ignition coil bolts are going to be a E8. I don't know if there's a standard or metric size that will fit over this, but it is an E8. And you have your coil here, here, and here. In order to gain access to the coils, you have to take the air filter box off, which is right there. It's pretty simple. This little clamp here, if you just stick a screwdriver, a flat blade screwdriver, just under this little ledge right here, you can kind of just pop it off, and it comes loose. And then you take an E10 or a 8mm, and there's a screw here, and then you undo the little connector right here, pop it off, and then you can pull the whole assembly out. And then once you do that, you have access here. These spark plugs do take a special tool, which is right here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the part number on it, but it is 278 589 000900. Most dealers will not sell the part to you, and they won't let you borrow it either. So there's that. I don't know if there's a special tool or a aftermarket tool that works for these spark plugs or not, but it does take a special tool. And the torque for these spark plugs is 23 Newton meters, and it has to be exact. 16.9 foot-pounds or 17 foot-pounds is the same as 23 Newton meters, but it has to be exact because this engine is direct injection, and if you don't get it right, it can cause misfires and all sorts of bad things. So it has to be exact. So you're going to need a torque wrench for that. My camera battery is about to die, so what I'll do is I'll switch batteries and I'll go on to the other side and show you how to do that. Okay, now on to the driver's side. The driver's side is the more stubborn side because you don't really have a lot of room. You have a whole cage right here kind of in the way. And so first things first, what you have to do is you unplug the engine control unit, which these are the harnesses right here for it. As you can see, it's a slide style, so you just unclip, you slide this out. Be careful because these do like to break if you pull on one side too quick or the other too quick. Same with this, you pull that, and then this connector here, this connector right here, goes right here. You just undo the clip, pull it out, and then you grab the engine control unit from the bottom, and you can grab a wedge or something and push right here. You pull the engine control unit up, and once you pull it up, then you have access. There's going to be a bracket here, and it takes a T30, and that screws on right there, and that allows you to, it covers up some stuff, and it also allows you to connect your engine harness to something. It clips into place. Once you do that, you have access to all your coils, and let me go ahead and show you. These are the coil harnesses right here. The real stubborn part about these is you don't really have room in order to take them off. So you just push this little tab back right here. This little gray tab. Push it back, and as you can see in there, it has a little like board in there that kind of clicks over. What you can do is you can try and push really hard on the actual tab itself. If it doesn't work, you're going to have to put some sort of flat blade screwdriver in there, pocket screwdriver, pick, something, in order to get it in there to kind of pry it off, and then you're going to have to pull. What I recommend is you grab the connector, not the harness, because if you grab the harness, there's a chance that you rip it, and that's no bueno. So once you get all three of those out of the way, the one that's going to be the hardest is going to be the number 6 coil, which is back here. What I like to do is I like to take, there's a hose right here. It's a breather hose. It goes from your booster here, and it snakes along, and it goes into your intake. All you have to do to take that off, and be very careful, because if these break, you're not going to be able to really start the car. You squeeze these tabs here, and it kind of lifts off. You got to apply some moderate pressure, and then pull out. But once you get that out of the way, you can move the harnesses all out of your way. You're able to get to the oil dipstick tube. It's going to be an E10 or an 8mm, whichever you have. And it's going to be an aluminum bolt, so you're not going to be able to get it with a magnet. You're going to have to loosen it and then grab it with either like a pair of pliers or one of those, one of these. I like to call it a plastic magnet. You push it and it comes out like a claw. You can grab onto things. Plastic magnet. And then once you get that out of the way, it makes it a little bit more easier. This can then move, and then you can get to all your coil bolts. And what I like to use to pull the coils themselves, do not grab the coil. Do not grab the coil, because the coils, they will separate from the hose, and sometimes the hose rips. So what I like to do, especially with these meaty ones, is I take a set of spark plug boot puller pliers, or you can get some hose pliers. Just with the hose pliers, just remember that they're metal on metal, so you don't want to crack any of the stuff, but you essentially just slide it over so it'll sit like this. It's kind of hard to do. So essentially it's sitting in there like this. You want to take your spark plug pliers, put them here, and slowly pull out. Now, it's much better to do this whenever the engine is hot or warm, because the rubber then becomes more softer, and it allows it to slide off a lot easier. You don't have to apply as much pressure. But the only problem with that is it's hot, so then you also run into the issue of possibly getting burned. But after you do all that, you can then access your spark plugs, and like I said, 23 Newton meters or 17 foot-pounds. Tighten it down. Like I said, use a special tool. I don't know if there is a non-special tool variant, like if a 12-point socket will fit on it. I do work at a dealer, so I do have access to the spark plug tool. The part number that I gave you, I'll put down in the description below, and we can maybe see if you can cross-reference to find an actual part number, or maybe somebody selling it on eBay, or something like that. So after you do all that, you just put everything back together. Make sure everything's plugged in. Make sure you hear an audible click when you plug stuff in. That way you know it's in, because the last thing you want to do is not hear the audible click. Put everything back together and find out you have a misfire on some other cylinder, and it's because you didn't plug the coil back in, and you got to undo all it, and it's just it's a big old pain. So yeah, so that's it. I mean, easy peasy. So until next time, guys, see you later. Bye. So I forgot to mention that this clip right here, it takes a special tool to close it, but you actually don't need the special tool if you just get a pair of regular pliers, and you just put, if you can see right there, there's a little nub. If you just put the pliers on both sides, there's a nub on each side of the clamp. You put a nub on both sides, and then just, it's kind of hard to do with one hand, and then just squeeze, bam, it clicks right into place. Done. Well, that's it.